to another episode of Karen About Wrestling. I'm your host, Karen the Intern, and we have an excellent show in store for you guys tonight. But first, as usual, let's do a little admin stuff. Let's talk about volunteering. You want to be a volunteer for 365 Pro Wrestling, maybe with the production crew? That would be super cool. You should definitely get a hold of us through 365prowrestling.com or any of our social media. Also, check out our sister shows right here on YouTube. That would be Island Main Event Tuesday and Combat. So definitely check those out. Like and subscribe. Leave some comments below. We always love that. And of course, Pro Wrestling Academy. Do you think you have what it takes to be a pro wrestler? Check out the Pro Wrestling Academy. And also, any live shows coming up in the future, check them all out at 365prowrestling.com and get your tickets soon. We got a few more shows left for the year, so make sure you check those out. All right, without further ado, we are going to get right into our guest for this evening. Someone who is kind of a behind-the-scenes person, a member of our production crew, an esteemed member of our production crew, camera, commentary. I think she's even rung the bell before. My guest for this evening, Angie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, Karen.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
You're looking very like
Yep.
like this. This is good.
I got the memo.
You got the I love that. I have a teeny tiny little bit of power and I'm trying to use it for God. Right?
It's working.
Yay! All right. So here we are. I have you for the next 30 to 45 minutes.
All right.
And so I have a ton of questions. Everybody's dying to know more about Angie, the camera girl. You guys know her at the shows. She's the one running around the ring trying not to be hit by wrestlers and or foreign objects and all of that. And so let's get right into it.
Okay.
So last show that we worked together, James Bay, which was also the last show at the White Eagle Polish Hall.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a sad
It was
thing.
bittersweet.
It was
for sure.
bittersweet for sure, but it was a crazy night and you did camera all night for that.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me a bit about the matches and how fun it was. And
well, doing camera work, it's very difficult. I will say that. It's very physical. It's a lot of squatting. Gotta make sure that your legs don't get too tired by the end of the night. But honestly, it all kind of goes as a blur when you're doing it because you're focusing so much on what's on the screen and making sure everybody's in the shots and making everybody look good that you don't really pay attention to the actions really going on. So it does kind of blur a little bit, but it's nice to watch them again and be like, oh yeah, that did happen. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what's it like looking back at things that you personally film, like when you watch episodes of, I guess primarily combat, right?
Yeah.
And you see like shots that maybe you took and you're like, oh yeah, that was me. I did that. That's my handiwork.
Yeah, you kind of feel a little nostalgic and a little proud of yourself being like, yeah, that's my shot. Yeah. Or, gets to your head a little bit too. You're like, damn, that's a good shot. Oh yeah, that was me. You're welcome.
Right? Yeah. No, that is something to be proud of because I don't think I could do it personally. I'm I love the wrestlers. They're all awesome, but like when they're all sweaty and there's
you kind of gotta not be a germaphobe, I guess. Not that anybody's really dirty or anything, but you do get sweat on for sure.
Yeah.
There's sometimes blood involved and that can get a little icky, but and you gotta be quick and light on your feet too. You gotta get out of the way when they need you to get out of the way.
Yeah, and especially because you're not the only person ringside, right?
That's
like,
right.
Sometimes there's like, say, for example, a Sadie Kane
Yeah.
might be ringside,
Mhm.
or Ramon Carlton might be ringside,
Yeah.
or a Darren O might be ringside.
Yeah, you really got to make sure you have your peripherals going at all times.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep your wits on you for sure.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool though because like you're getting all of the video and Darren's getting all of the still shots of the event, so it's kind of like you guys are capturing it from two different perspectives.
Yeah, and he gets some amazing shots too. But we're really good at working with each other. We just always kind of know where the other person's gonna be. You get a sense for that when you've got a few matches under your belt.
Yeah, so to speak.
Yeah. A different way, I guess, but outside of the ring. But yeah, no, we work really well together, and he's fun to work with. He's he's too polite sometimes, though. I feel like we'll kind of bump into each other, and he'll be, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, no, stay right there. That's perfect. Stay there. You're gonna get a great shot. I'll go around. Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, I go high, you go low.
Yeah,
that kind of thing, right? So we never really have a game plan when we go into filming and photographing, but we just always seem to make it work perfectly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, the whole production crew really has kind of come together, hey, in the last
for sure.
We're all like,
kind of family now, right?
We are
like a family within a family.
Yeah,
than a bigger,
crazier
family.
Yes. Yes, definitely crazier. That is a different. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, so speaking of the ringside and all that good stuff, and you were speaking about bodily fluids, spattering about, and blood in particular, so you have filmed 2 hardcore matches now.
It's 2 for sure. Yeah.
And so the last one was the show in James Bay there, and who's in that one? We had Eddie.
We had Eddie and Crofton, and we had Johnny Roston and Feuerstein. Damien Canes, and Sadie. The Canes, of course, and Damon and Laxadartha.
Yeah, so that was a full house, and it was the fans bring the
weapons.
So what kind of weapons were we seeing?
All sorts of things. Like, I have my personal favorites that I saw, which I thought were just absolutely hilarious. But there was like barbed wire wrapped baseball bats, there was foamies, and like someone brought like a stop sign, like a traffic control person stop sign. The worst, I would say, though, was bananas, because those things are so slippery when you step on them, and we were definitely slipping around on them. And thumbtacks, of course, it's always a staple in a hardcore match.
Yeah, and the skewers too.
Like the skewers, yeah, those are brutal. Yeah, it was at that point that I was like, "Ooh!"
Yeah, like, so imagine they just take like a handful of these skewers and then ram them into somebody,
tap them in, and then they go poof, and then there's a fan of skewers in your forehead.
It was a lot. And
look at barbecuing the same.
No, not at all. Every time I go into Opa now, I'm like,
ooh, yeah. I'll get a pita wrap, thanks.
Yeah, just no
skewers.
No skewers. I'm good with that. So Crofton seemed to have gotten the worst out of it this time, right?
Yeah, it's those pizza pans. They're very flexible, but when they bend, they're sharp.
Right. And so he just took it right to the forehead. Do you know, was he fine afterwards? Like, was he able to, or did he have to get stitches?
Was still smiling as far as I
know. He was like wrapped, his head was all wrapped up. But
yeah, he wrapped his head for sure, and was still coming down. But that's the thing about a head wound, they tend to bleed a bit more.
They do indeed. They do.
Yeah.
That, which reminds me of Tera ZPP. Or Tara.
That's
the last hardcore match. That was also at
that was at the White Eagle Hall as well.
Yeah. And that one was like, she got cut open like right at the beginning.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was insane. Because she does the face paint and everything. There was almost no point of painting your face because it was just washed off with blood afterwards.
Right. It was pretty
it was intense, and mad respect to that girl for sure.
Absolutely.
There was pools in the ring afterwards. There was cleanup took a few extra minutes longer that night.
It really did. Yeah. So obviously as a audience member, it's insane to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I can't even fathom what it's like to be that close to the action. Like, you must feel it in a different way.
It's intense. It's almost like being in a war zone. Like I kind of said earlier, you don't really pay attention to much of what's actually going on. You're just trying to focus on getting a good shot. But there were times where all of a sudden I stop and I look around. I'm like, why am I doing this? But then I'm like, I know why I'm doing it, because this is awesome and this is fun. And you just get so wrapped up in the adrenaline. It's fun for sure.
It's very gladiator like.
Yeah. I was kind of reminded of that a bit with the last hardcore match where, you're just like, that person's, getting their arm chopped off, that person's laying down in a pool of blood kind of thing. Not quite, but yeah. But having said all that, like, I always feel safe when I'm filming ringside with everybody, because the wrestlers know where I am.
Yeah.
They train very hard to know where they're going to be and how to land and to not hurt the camera person.
Right. And that's really important too, especially because, like, in that particular match, there were so many people involved. And like I was saying, too, it wasn't just the people in the ring, the wrestlers who were in the ring and sometimes outside of the ring, but also like Sadie and Ramon.
Yeah.
And I seem to recall that, like, Sadie pushed Ramon Carlton during that match as well, and they got into it a little bit, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I'd actually like to see them two wrestle. I think that would be
I think that'd be a great match.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not gonna put my money on anyone yet.
No, but I'm just like putting that out there. Commissioner Legacy. You can make a match there. Maybe we should do that.
I'll film it.
He's into that for sure. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your 365 origin story. Like, how did this all come about for you?
Well, I think, like with a lot of production people, we all started out as fans. You go to a show, you're like, wow, that's amazing. And my first wrestling show was years ago. It was actually a VIPW show, but a friend of mine took me to that, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, let's go every weekend. And I moved to James Bay recently and found out that they did wrestling at the Polish Hall right around the corner from my apartment. So, hey, let's go to wrestling, you guys. And then I saw online, because I started following them on Facebook.
All the socials, 365 for wrestling.
I saw that there was a call out for volunteers. So I said, oh, wow. Okay, I wonder what they need. So I went to a show in Souk. And as soon as I walked through the door and introduced myself to Ramon Carlton, he looked me up and down. Here's a camera. I think he liked because I was short. You can slip under the radar when you're only 5'1".
True story.
So, and ever since then, he said, please come back, please come back, please come back. You're welcome every time. And now that I've gotten to know everybody in the 365 family, it's once you're in, you're in. And, there was a while I took a bit of a break, but I was missed. And I felt that when I came back. So I absolutely had to come back. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Yeah. And that's obviously how we met, was through.
Yep.
And so I do the, for Combat, I do the interviews with the wrestlers during the live show. So kind of before or after matches. And you are the one that does my camera for me, which I love so much.
Yeah.
So we get an awesome chance to work together as well.
Yeah.
Put those together. And those are very different than doing Karen About Wrestling or doing commentary. It's like you're there with the wrestlers. They're all pumped up about whatever match they're about to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they got beef with somebody. Maybe they're yelling out threats. It can get a little intense at times.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Right. But yeah. So also super, super fun though.
Like, we have a lot of laughs in between takes and all that. So
yeah, it's definitely fun. And a lot of like very much like improv, kind of just like whatever comes out of their mouth in that moment is what we're going with. So I love that too.
You always capture the best moments in the interview room.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Like it's a great way to interact with the wrestlers as well and get to know more about them.
Yeah.
All right, so believe it or not, we're already at our first commercial break. Ooh, that went fast.
That's it.
Real
Yeah.
fast.
Well,
Let's see. We're having a good time though, right?
No.
Let's throw that down. All right, don't you guys go anywhere. We will be right back with more Karen About Wrestling and Angie.
Good. Oh, no, I wasn't. I was joking that I was just going to stare at the camera the whole time and run a few laps around the room right now. I know.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll?
5.
And we are back. I'm Karen the Intern. You're watching Karen About Wrestling. And my guest this evening is Angie. Hey. All right. So, still talking a little bit more about wrestling. So, I heard a rumor that you may have at one moment actually gotten in the ring yourself.
Oh,
Trained a little bit potentially as a wrestler. Is that true?
you are correct in that. Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I have done a little bit of training. That's why I can attest to, yeah, wrestling is hard and these guys work so hard. It's amazing. So yeah, I did an open house in Campbell River when they had the Pro Wrestling Academy up there. There's, I think, me and maybe 2 other people showed up. It was very cold January morning. But yeah, it was so much fun training, and I got to work with Haviko, who is incredible. Such a talented guy, so kind. He knows his stuff for sure.
He's the best.
He's the best,
He's the
yeah.
best.
And then they opened up the Pro Wrestling Academy down in Victoria. And I mentioned it to a friend of mine who was the friend who took me to my first wrestling show. And I was like, hey, we should go. Why not? You love wrestling. You want to try it? I tried it. It's fun. Let's do it. And he's into martial arts and everything. So I took him with, and he's definitely excelling at it more than I did. He's going to be getting his first match pretty soon too. Where the street is. Yeah.
Exciting.
So yeah, I did not continue on with it.
Okay.
Just life is busy.
Mhm.
I have a very committed full-time job and a dog and all that kind of stuff. So traveling is hard when you're on call 24/7. And it hurts. It's very tough on your body.
Yeah.
And I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I will admit that. I am turning 38 soon. So it's never too late to start, though. I know that there are wrestlers that have started later in life. Becky Beach,
Yeah.
I think, started about my age. And look at how far she's come, right? So
Absolutely.
never say never. You just have to put the hard work and dedication into it. And it's not something that I could fully commit to at this point. But I'm also not saying never.
Right?
I may get back in. You never know.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And in the meantime, you're like wrestling adjacent, right? You're still involved.
Yeah,
You're still.
Yeah, I'll always be involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the wrestlers say, once you're in, you're in. So
So
you haven't seen the last of me.
yeah, I love that. So what was like the most difficult part about the training?
About 2 days afterwards, when you realize, oh, I didn't know I had those muscles, and why do they hurt so much?
You like barely move. Like, yeah.
You wouldn't think that you'd use like your toes as much, but you really do. Yeah.
That's crazy. And what about the best part?
The best part, feeling the accomplishment of doing some of these crazy moves. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that I could do that. And I did it. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
You really got to believe in yourself. And it does help you believe in yourself. It helps you get the confidence and all that.
Totally. And also like to not be afraid to try new things, not to be afraid of sucking at something new at the beginning, until you get better.
Yeah. You kind of have to wrap your brain around how your body moves too. Like I've done sports, I've skied, horseback riding, all that kind of stuff. But not gymnastics, which apparently wrestling is a lot. Yeah, but Haviko said it best in the first training session I did with him. He's like, just throw your body and see what it does. And so just trust in yourself. And if you believe you can do it, you will do it. So yeah, very inspiring.
Yes. Yes. You just have to believe in yourself.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Amazing. Okay. So, let's see. What else do we have here? Okay. So, if you were a wrestler, what would you want your entrance music to be? Have you ever thought about that?
Oh, absolutely. Every morning I'm getting ready for work. I've got a playlist of potential wrestling intro songs. And, I don't know if I want to give any of them away.
Okay, that's fair. That's
because
fair.
they're pretty good.
Okay, can you give us like maybe genre?
Oh, heavy metal for sure.
Heavy metal.
Yeah.
Love
That's my go-to genre for sure.
Excellent.
I don't think any Tool songs are really appropriate for wrestling intros.
I mean,
Nobody really wants a 20-minute intro.
Yeah.
There's definitely some like Black Sabbath on the list, maybe some Dio, something like that. Yeah,
Love me some Dio.
love me, some
Love
Dio.
me some Dio.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in a cover band forever, and I was in a band that was just all like 70s and 80s metal. And we did some Dio.
Oh, you have to. Yeah,
And it was a lot.
well, there's a lot of Dio to love.
There's a lot of Dio to love. And vocally, like,
Oh,
on.
his range is incredible. Yeah. I definitely take a note from his books. for
Right?
sure.
I don't usually get impressed by male singers very frequently because their range usually isn't as good as a woman's.
Fair
range,
enough.
right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
But him,
Mm,
no,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever listened to a good Eagles record?
Oh well, the
That-
Eagles too, of course. Yeah.
That Don Henley. Woo, no.
Well, yeah.
that's another topic. But anyways,
Yeah, let's save that for the next segment. We kind of went off track there a little bit. We're still talking about wrestling. So, I wanted to ask you, now you're not wrestling, but you are ringside. Have you ever been injured, doing camera work or any other 365 related,
oh yeah. Like, I mean, aside from the sore muscles afterwards, I haven't tripped and fallen, thankfully. Been pretty good about that. But yeah, I've definitely been
has any
Picked on-
blood landed directly in your mouth?
oh no.
Okay,
no.
that would be gross.
No, yeah.
Keep your mouth closed.
Gross, yeah.
Yeah.
Try not to breathe this much too, yeah. Yeah, I've been kicked accidentally, wrong place at the wrong time, but
Yeah.
especially at the end of the night, you're tired, maybe not paying attention as much. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, definitely got kicked the other night. But
So that's what happened. You
Yeah.
got kicked in the arm. Yeah.
yeah, with the camera hand. And so
Right.
the camera was okay though.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. And I was not broken. So it's
You sacrificed yourself for the shot. I love that.
you gotta for the art,
Willing to go the extra mile
right?
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So, who kicked you? Can you say?
I don't know if I should.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It was an accident, so
No,
it's all good.
That's fair.
But it was during the last match. So if you know who was
was
doing the last match.
And maybe when it shows up on Combat, you can like watch for that moment, the moment, and we'll like slow mo it, but cut out, blur out faces.
Yeah, put the black bar
Yeah.
across their eyes, even though it's so obvious what they're wearing.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of attire, as I love how you just segued right into that.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be my next question. So, wrestlers have some outfit, right?
They sure do.
They sure have some
They
outfits.
sure do.
And is there anybody in particular, that you really, really dig what they're wearing, or do you just think it's the most like coolest thing?
Honestly, they all look so good.
They do. They do.
Yeah, and actually, it was Magnum Mel the other night. She got her like full costume made. Yes. And she debuted it at the last Way Eagle show, and she looks so stunning.
She really looked
Yeah.
awesome, you guys. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the work that goes into those outfits, and yeah, I I guess that they sometimes get them custom made, obviously.
Yeah.
And it can take months and months. But I think sometimes they're lucky enough to find a seamstress or whoever that wants to work with them and help develop their style and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet drag queens have the same kind of, they have to find like a person that will,
They
like,
do, and there's also the drag performers out there that do it all themselves.
that too.
And-
You know, the sewer drag queens and
Yeah.
the ones that not so much, they're buying off the rack, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
We got the bespoke
Yeah.
drag queens, we got the liquidation world drag queens. That's what it
The
is.
Wish version, yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. What about the guys? Is there any guys that you, when you think of in terms of attire, that you're like, yeah, that I really like that. I'm digging that.
I love what Thelonious does.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a
That's
huge
what we
fan.
said.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
He had a whole new
And
getup on.
He did the moth thing, and I kind of overheard that Eddie's afraid of moths or something, and was maybe a little worried during. I heard. I don't know. I don't want to speculate.
Eddie, I know you're watching. Just leave a comment below. Let us know if you are afraid of moths or not. Inquiring minds want to know for sure. And I'm guessing if he is, then that's was the whole point. Is Thelonious is like 100% exploiting Eddie's irrational
Yeah.
fear.
It's a tactic for, long game plan, I guess, maybe.
And if there's anybody who knows about the long game, it's Thelonious.
It's Thelonious for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And yeah, and I loved it. And he had not one, but two FELTs.
There were 3, I believe.
3,
He's had 3 at one point.
but on
All
the
of-
last
all of
show, were there 2 of them at the show, or were there 3? I don't know.
I actually don't remember, to be honest with you.
It's a bit of a blur,
It's a
but
bit
there
of a
were
blur.
2 for sure.
Yeah.
Because I know there wasn't 1,
There were
so
2.
there had to be.
Let's review the footage.
Oh my god, you're such a professional. I love that.
It's the blazer.
Yeah, it just does something, right? I know.
When I take it off, all my professionalism's out the window. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's the blazer and the eyelashes. Once
Yeah.
the eyelashes are gone, it's all over. Okay, so do you ever travel to go watch any of the shows outside of town?
Well, I go with the show to Duncan and Souk. That's as far
Okay.
as I go. But I definitely plan to go Courtney, Campbell River, because I gotta,
Yeah.
see what it's all about up there.
For
see
sure.
how they do it up there.
Yeah, and I mean, it helps that we live in like arguably one of the most beautiful places in Canada, North America, the world. I
For
don't know.
sure,
So yeah, traveling up island.
Yeah, and I know there's always a couch I can crash on somewhere. I'm sure.
Right.
Somebody will host me.
That's how the wrestlers roll.
Yeah.
365 roll.
Yeah.
We take care of our own there. Yeah.
The wrestler slumber party.
Right. So fun.
Bring your comic books and Coca-Cola. I don't know
Yeah.
what they do.
I don't know what they do either. I've never actually been invited to any of those get-togethers. So, but I'm just a lowly intern, but working my way up.
You'll get your promotion soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
And
believe.
dress for the job you want. That was the whole point right from the beginning. So
There you go.
I'm working on it. All right. And I feel like if anybody could help me get there, it's you with your superior camera skills.
Yeah, there you go. I have a way of boosting people up, I guess. It's all about the angle.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I know nothing of that. I couldn't tell you. I just like show up and talk. That's
I have no idea either. I just learn on the fly. Like I said, it's the blazer. It makes me look professional.
yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Well, but that's kind of the thing though, right? Like about what we were talking about before about like not being afraid to try something new.
Of course,
Maybe like learning kind of as you go, not
Yeah.
being, putting your ego out of the way so you can
Yeah.
just like accept that there's things you don't know and ask questions. And
Mhm.
the great thing about 365 too, you guys, if any of you want to volunteer, is like you're going to learn so much.
Absolutely.
Not just
And
about wrestling, but about like how to put on a show and like
for sure, yeah. Like this is the first time I've ever done production in a show. I mean, I've done like open mic nights and stuff like that, but I've been the performer. and you have everybody else doing all that stuff for you.
Yep.
So being on the other side of it, yeah, sure makes you appreciate all the hard work that goes into putting these shows on. Even setting up chairs and bringing in the flats of beer from the car and stocking the bar and things like that.
Yeah. And then the tear down afterwards.
And the tear down afterwards, yeah.
Yeah. But it's great to see because like even the fans are putting chairs away.
Oh,
like,
for sure, yeah.
Gather up empty beer cans or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
I gotta say, our fans are great for that. Yeah.
They really are best fans in the world.
Best fans in the world.
365
365
Nation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have any advice for anybody thinking about getting into pro wrestling or the production crew or any of that?
The same advice that everybody has given me. Just do it.
Just do
Just do it.
You can be afraid and do something anyway.
Totally.
Yeah.
You might find that you're really good at it.
You just might. And the great thing about 365 too is there's like so many different types of jobs to do.
For sure. There's something for everybody.
There, you will find something that you're good at, just not my job.
Yeah. Yep. Or Cameron. No.
Yeah.
I do like
Other
it. Yeah, I do
jobs,
like doing it. So
No, of course.
no, I do share the camera duties though.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, and it's I mean, everybody's trying to give everybody, and you need a break sometimes too, right? Because it's so lots of squats.
Lots of squats. Yeah.
I don't have to squat nearly as much. Okay, so we're gonna get into some like non-wrestling related questions.
Oh, we're gonna start digging, aren't we?
I feel like, okay, we kind of know who Angie is as a camera person. You did ring the bell, right? Is
Yes.
that true? Yes, as a bell ringer. But after the break, we are going to get into who is Angie as a person.
It's gonna be good.
You do not want to miss this. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more Caring About Wrestling. Angie.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock?
And we are back. I'm Karen the Intern. You're watching Caring About Wrestling. And my guest this evening is Angie. All right. So I noticed that you have a little button.
Oh, I do. Representing.
What's that all about?
So there's this band in Victoria called Karen and the Managers.
Who are those guys?
They're all right, you know. They play some shows here and there. They usually bring the house down, melt some faces, all that pretty
Excellent.
standard rock and roll stuff. But
Excellent. Well, thank you. I will take every moment that I can to do some shameless self-promotion. So KarenandManagers.com, check it out. All right. So what are you doing when you're not wrestling related, doing wrestling related things? Boy, that was an awkwardly worded question.
well, like I said, I've got a pretty immersive full-time job. I am an aquarium technician.
An aquarium technician.
Yes, so I work for a company in Victoria here. We're called Out of the Blue Creations. What was that? Myself and Chris, the owner, we design, build, maintain aquariums, fish tanks, everything from betas and guppies to stingrays and monster fish and reef tanks.
Wow.
Yeah, we do it all.
So what's the biggest tank that you're currently managing?
The biggest one is just over 400 gallons.
400 gallons. So is that like the size of this room?
It would fill the wall behind us for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I need a very tall ladder, and
And what kind of fish are in that one?
all sorts of freshwater tropical, too many to name.
So
We've got there's a big iridescent shark. I don't know if there's any fish people out there watching, but we've got a big iridescent shark. He's 20 years old.
wow.
We've actually been servicing the aquarium. We did an upgrade for these people, but for about the whole life of the fish. So
Wow.
it was this big, now it was this big.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I haven't been there for 20 years, but
Well, no, because I don't know, 8. Like-
yeah, no. You're kind, but yeah, no, I do a few pretty big tanks. Those are always fun to work on, and even the small ones are fun to work on. They're all different. You can't really say they're the same. No two are alike.
Do you get like attached then to the fish that you see all the time? I mean, I know like when there's like 25 of the type of fish, you can't be like, oh, that's Fred and that's Stan.
You can kind of recognize individuals if you've got like a big group. Some kind of stand out a little more, like, oh, that's that one that's missing an eye, or
Right.
there's actually one in a kid's dental office that I look after. It's a African cichlid tank, and the cichlid got into a fight at one point and lost his top lip, but it healed over, so now he's like this. And he looks like Beaker the Muppet. so, yeah. So he's very, very recognizable, and he's quite personable, actually.
That's awesome. I love it. He's just making the best of it, you know? He's like, I don't have a lip now, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, he can't see himself in the mirror.
Oh, that's
He
all
doesn't
close.
know.
He doesn't know. He doesn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
He's like, I look bad.
Yeah. Too
Amazing.
cute.
So have you lived in Victoria all your life?
Pretty much. So I was born in Red Deer, Alberta. Yeah.
Redmond, Alberta. Yeah.
An Albertan girl.
Yeah.
My family moved out here though when I was probably like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you don't
and-
really have any Alberta memories?
Not really, no. I was quite young. Yeah. Yeah, no, we moved to Victoria and then I grew up in Sydney, actually. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm a Sydney kid.
Sydney is so beautiful. There's a lot of old folks homes
The
there.
newlywed, nearly dead, they say.
Yeah, that describes Sydney.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
a lovely main street that goes right down to the water. It's very beautiful.
It's changed a lot for sure in the last while. And I go out there once every 2 weeks for service calls.
Oh.
Going there tomorrow, actually. And it's just crazy how it changes so much. And they've got that big Amazon factory thing out there that with all the roundabouts. I'm like, this isn't a small town I grew up in.
No. And I just moved here a few years ago, and even in that time, I'm like, whoa! Like every time I look at, there's some new construction thing going on.
Yeah, it's a
It's
change.
an island, so there's only so much they can
Yeah,
build.
we're going up and stuff out.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and then now I live in James Bay, and I love it there. Yeah, I love Victoria so much. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
traveled to different cities, spent some time in like Kelowna, Montreal, Calgary, all the Saskatchewan cities and towns, where my dad's from. But Victoria, I think, will always be home for sure.
It is so beautiful here, guys.
Absolutely,
Seriously.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so we talked about aquariums. So you like fish. Do you have a favorite kind of fish?
Black ghost knife.
A what now?
It's a black ghost knife. It's a you look it up, Google it.
Okay. Not now, but
Yeah.
write it down, Google it after the show.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Are they black?
Yes, and they've got a little white stripe down their nose. They're very cute.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely look that up. I should tell you, I did when I first moved to the island here, I wanted to get a pet, but I didn't really know what to get. And then my friend gifted me one of those just like plastic aquariums.
Yeah.
You can just put like a little filter and a pump on
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
lamp or whatever. And so then I got a nice little betta fish. I'd consider it a rescue because I got him from a cup at some pet store, you know, and you're like, how
Yeah,
I've been there.
I'd call that a rescue for
Yeah,
sure.
right? I
Yeah.
wanted to bring them all home with me, but you can't.
Yeah.
Two betas in a tank, so they'll kill each other.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, his name's Keith.
I love giving human names to pets.
To animals,
Yeah.
I love that too. So
There's a
much.
big fish I look after in a care home, and the residents named him Chucky. Chucky's a bit of an a-hole, but the kids love him when they come to visit. So
That's pretty cool.
Chucky.
Yeah, love it. What about you have a dog?
I do. I love my puppers.
Her name is
Juno.
Yeah, what kind of dog is she?
She is a boxer, pit bull, lab collie mix. She's a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Got the little Pines 57 act
Yeah,
going on there.
she's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Got that going for her too. She's pretty cute.
And so, how old is she?
She just turned 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And yeah, I mean, I actually
You've met Juno?
I met Juno. Juno's a lovely, lovely, lovely dog. So, but like she's big, right? Well, I mean, to me, she's big,
Yeah.
medium size.
I'd call her medium large. She's heavy to pick up.
Yeah, I can't imagine picking her up. Like, she
Yeah.
definitely looks like
But she
she's-
curls in the cutest little ball. I don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like a transformer dog almost.
But she looks like she would also bite the face off anyone that tried to mess with you.
Yeah, she's a great protection dog. I can feel safe walking her at night anywhere.
That's awesome. That's very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also know about you that you play guitar
I
and that you
do.
sing, and you mentioned earlier some
Yeah.
open mics, and
Yes.
you said you were the performer. So tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, it's been so long since I've done an open mic night. But I've actually done one in Montreal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I traveled out there years and years and years ago. Stayed with a friend there for about 3 weeks, and it was actually my birthday. Freezing cold. Don't go to Montreal in January. But yeah,
the best month.
we did an open mic night there, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, done just lots around town. Getting back into music finally though. Went on a hiatus. But yeah, I picked up my guitar and my bass and all that again, and getting back into it.
Sing, I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Well, I also, as you know, play guitar and sing.
yeah.
We should make some kind of an Indigo Girls
Absolutely.
tribute band or something.
We'll do some Ani DeFranco covers.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so like and subscribe. Just take a moment. Just do it now. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We'd really appreciate that. Now I know this is the question that everybody actually wants the answer to, and I can't believe you waited this long.
I
to
think
get
I know
the
what this
interview for
is.
this. What is your favorite dinosaur and why, Angie?
Well, I love those Dilophosaurus, the spitty guys from Jurassic Park, but I think people have named that so many times. I think twice already now. So I'm gonna go with something different, and I'm gonna say Ankylosaurus.
Ah, that's
They're
the one with the long tail with the club on.
they
the
got a
end,
lumpy
right?
tail.
A
Yeah,
lumpy tail.
they're short, squat
Plant eaters.
plant eaters, and probably would do well as a wrestling camera person.
Yeah, I agree. And they do have some like armor plating.
They
over
do,
the front
yeah,
of them as
yeah.
well.
Not quite like a Triceratops, but
No pointies, just platies.
platies
Very technical here.
and a
Camera wrestling.
lumpy tail.
And a wumpy tail.
Yeah,
Exactly. All right. So believe it or not, we are already coming up to the end of this interview.
Oh my
Isn't that
goodness.
crazy how fast that went. Did you
It
have
was
a good time?
it was so much fun.
I had a good time too.
Yeah.
But before we let you go, how do you feel about a lightning round?
Ooh, let's do it.
Okay, excellent. All right. So just very quick. Question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. Okay, you ready?
Let's do this.
Okay, here we go. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Trek.
Trek. Wow, most people say Wars, so that's pretty cool. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Heck yeah.
Heck yes. Frozen yogurt or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Potato salad or coleslaw?
Coleslaw.
Coleslaw. Do you like it?
I have a bad experience with potato
A
salad.
lot of people have had bad potato. Do you like the creamy coleslaw or the
The
vinegary?
more
oily?
vinegary. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Macho Man, Hulk, or Ultimate Warrior?
Macho Man.
Everybody says Macho Man.
Mhm.
Favorite band?
Anything Dio.
Love it. Love it. Best place to get a hamburger on Vancouver Island?
Big Wheel's pretty good.
Love the big wheel.
Yeah.
Are you more team Freddy Krueger or team Jason Voorhees?
I'm gonna go Kruger.
Love that. Love
Yeah.
that. First car you ever owned?
99 Toyota RAV4.
Yes.
I still drive a RAV4, just an later model.
RAV4.
Yeah, they're the best.
All right. And what was your favorite part of this interview?
Oh, it was all so much fun. Just getting time to spend with you, I think, is my favorite. Yeah.
Thanks. Well, I feel the same way. This has been super, super fun. And I feel like I got to know you a little more too
Yeah.
as well. And so did all our friends out there in YouTube land and B65 Nation. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Caring About Wrestling. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.